All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to this Discover Redox presentation. I'm really glad that you're here because we're going to share with you information which is very important. Since it was handed to me almost, well, over 6 years ago now, maybe nearly 6.5 years ago now, time flies. It was high priority for me to bring it to everybody's attention because, as I said, the level of importance of this information is incredibly high. And it's because the impact that it is having in people's lives is significantly deep. And I wanted all my loved ones to know about it. And of course, they felt compelled for more extended loved ones and family and friends to know about it too. And I think when you see this, you may feel the same. But at the very least, we hope that we're able to better your life in some measure. But this is a tremendous breakthrough, which is a real deal force for good in the world. And I promise you it'll make more sense as I unfold it to you. One big reason I want you to stick around, though, is not only for this important information, but so you can see firsthand with your own eyes and hear with your own ears the significant impact that it is having in people's lives, because we're going to hear from a gentleman today who went from a condition that was not only very severe, but very concerning, not just upon his health, but upon his life. And thanks to this breakthrough, let alone him trying many other things, this gave him a very significant pivot point, very significant turning point. And now he has turned around not only his unfortunate situation into great health, but also he is bringing that to the world. And he's helping many thousands of people to better their lives. And he's a tremendous force in the world for good, as well as this breakthrough. And that's brought him the fortune back of, being able to not just get his health back, but live with great wealth as well. And I mean more than money, but we'll talk a little bit about that too. So without further ado, so make sure you stick around for that. You are not going to want to miss out on hearing not only this gentleman's story, but absorbing his experience. He is a very accomplished human being. And he's making a great impact in people's lives. And I'm sure he will in yours too, in some way, shape or form. He's just a good bloke all around. So let me share my screen here and we'll get into this presentation. All right. So my name is Stevie Aquilina. And in case you couldn't tell by my Crocodile Dundee accent, my family and I, we live in Australia. We're originally from Sydney, but now we live on the Gold Coast. And that was a dream come true, and we can make that happen. We're minutes from beautiful beaches, mountains, rainforests, coastal cities, theme parks. We love it. I'm very blessed and very grateful for my life. And I've also been very lucky to obtain an income and time and freedom that allows me to enjoy a great lifestyle with my family. It's also taken us to many parts of the world that once upon a time just way too far out of my reach to get to. But the truth is, this was not always the case. The good vibes and the good times have not always been around. I was a difficult child to parent, school, to bring up. I never made the grades. I was often told I was stupid and useless on a daily basis, in fact. And I figured out along the way, if you're told something often enough, especially while you're young and impressionable enough, you kind of start to believe it. And I did. And so later on, I became a teenage runaway and a high school dropout. And with that kind of thinking, I walked myself way off track on life's journey throughout my teens and 20s. And the PG version is I had more than 20 different jobs in far less that time. And for over a decade, I was a very dumb but very good-looking bouncer in what used to be the most popular nightclubs in Sydney. Kidding about the good-looking part, not about the dumb part. It was King's Cross for anyone who, well, King's Cross when it used to be what it used to be, for anyone who's familiar with Australia and Sydney. Now, I was a daydreamer, but not a daydream believer. I had big dreams. I wanted to be, do, and have more. I really wanted to give more, actually. But I wasn't a believer because I had little self-esteem. I had little self-confidence. So I'd done little with my life, and just that added up to me as not really having much to give, little to give. Physically, I've always been athletic, even to right now, mainly in martial arts. But back then you wouldn't have known it, but I had health troubles, autoimmune disorder, inflammatory issues, severe skin, respiratory and gut conditions most of my life, hospitalized for that a few times, and lots of bad injuries too, which I was hospitalized for, and lots of surgeries as well. Finally, financially, I should say, I got myself stuck in go nowhere jobs with hopes going nowhere, no prospects, no financial security, no financial dignity. I've been so embarrassingly broke. I've had the phone, electricity, and gas cut off. I've not been able to run my car on anything more than just the fumes of petrol, if I could even afford that. I've not been able to make the rent, and I've been evicted. I mean, no financial dignity. I always believed in possibilities, but I doubted my potential. And with that kind of contradiction and confusion and uncertainty, I was trapped, feeling unfulfilled, unhappy, frustrated, and unable to be who I really wanted to be. Now, as for things fortunate in my life, one, I met the girl of my dreams, and right then and there, I was motivated more than ever before to become more. And a turning point for me was she believed in me and always told me that I was more. And I guess when you're told something often enough. And then a big solution came along for me when I was introduced to this company's life-changing breakthrough, life-changing financial opportunity, and life-changing training. Now, the company leaders are extremely ethical and successful people. That's a very important combination. And they believed in me too. And they taught me how to believe and become more. And now today, instead of having health and wealth problems, I've solved them, and I have the honor of helping others to solve them too, because of and with this life-changing breakthrough. And instead of financial insecurity and indignity and being embarrassingly broke, I now have security and dignity because of this life-changing financial opportunity. And instead of being trapped, unfulfilled, unhappy, frustrated, uncertain, confused, conflicted, I now have the ability to believe and become more. I now have the ability to have and to give more because this company's training, ethos, and culture has shown me a life-changing better way. And now I want nothing more than to spend the rest of my life bettering people's lives in at least any one of these life-changing ways too. So first, what I'm going to share with you is the most significant health and life science breakthrough of our lifetime. Medical experts say this is a very big breakthrough, greater than the discoveries of DNA or penicillin. And they were medically historical changing breakthroughs. And for 2 decades, by the way, science had declared that what I'm about to show you, this breakthrough, they said it was impossible. Now it is known as a breakthrough with enormous potential, proven by renowned universities and world-leading laboratory medical studies. It's a very advanced breakthrough, 15 years ahead of its time. And any health goals, challenges, problems, or concerns you can think of, we're seeing just about remarkable results. And drug companies wanted it shut down. I'll explain more about that a little later. Before I tell you what this is, let's be clear about what this is not, because this is nothing like anything else you've ever seen before. Because what we'll be talking about goes well beyond drugs or nutrition, well beyond any type of ingredients, or way beyond any type of technology, or way beyond anything you already know about, because what I'm about to show you is an entirely new frontier in science that is truly groundbreaking and a category creating and a real deal healthcare breakthrough. The Discover Redox cell signaling technology is a drink that contains active redox signaling molecules. So what are those, aside from being a mouthful? Redox signaling molecules are made by your cells. So they're made within your body right now. So they are native to your body. And they are your cellular messengers that affect your cell-to-cell communication, and therefore your cell-to-cell operation. And I mean everything, all the way down to your genetic and molecular expressions in a positive way. Now, redox signaling is a remarkable process because it is the actual process that empowers your body to heal itself. And this happens by these redox signaling molecules telling your cells how to protect healthy cells, how to repair unhealthy cells, and how to replace damaged cells. So that's how your body regenerates its own tissue. As I said, heal yourself. Now, redox signaling molecules also activate your body's immune system to protect against bacteria, viruses, and infection. You know, the bottom line is this: redox signaling is what keeps cells functioning and healing themselves at optimal levels. Now, why is this all so important? Because we are all made entirely of cells. We live and die at the cellular level. So the right balance of redox signaling molecules makes for healthy cells, makes for a healthy body, and makes for a healthy life. Redox signaling molecules are the keys and essential to life. And what I mean by essential, they are essential for the activation and function of our normal physiology. All of our body's major systems, biochemical and physiological, all of our processes in our body critically depend on redox signaling. Because if all of your cells were to suddenly stop making redox signaling molecules right now, you wouldn't live longer than just a few more mere seconds. Without your redox signaling molecules, life ends. So if our bodies already make redox signaling molecules, why do we need to give our bodies more? Well, it's true. When we're born, we do make an abundance of redox signaling molecules. That's generally why children have so much energy, how they can run around all day and not wake up sore the next day, and how they can bounce back so quickly from an injury or illness. However, as we age, along with stress, poor diet, toxins, and all sorts of other environmental assaults, both man-made, yes, but also natural, our cells break down. And our body's ability to make redox signaling molecules breaks down too. Without as many of these redox signaling molecules giving clear cell signals, our whole cellular protection and healing process becomes slow. Our cells break down more and more. This happens to everybody, by the way. This is universal. And so therefore, after that, what also breaks down along the way is our health, our wellness, our youth, and vitality, right? Now, ASEA takes science seriously and is highly committed to ongoing research outside of the company, outside of themselves, with renowned universities and world-leading laboratories, in fact. And they allow these outside and independently reviewed studies outside of themselves to prove the potential of ASEA redox signaling supplements, demonstrating the safety and efficacy of the ASEA redox products and certifying them as safe and effective and the real deal in every body. Now, ASEA takes science so seriously, but they are also so heavily involved in a very real and significant space of science, because redox biochemistry, redox science, redox research is based in Nobel Prize winning research. Since the first Nobel Prize was awarded to these three professors back in 1998 for the first discovery of a signaling molecule, there have now since been multiple signaling molecules discovered, with multiple Nobel Prizes awarded for research in this field of redox biochemistry, redox science. If you went along to pubmed.gov, which is where all peer-reviewed medical studies are published, and you typed in redox signaling, you would see well over 33,000 results. There are more than 1,500 medical textbooks that have been published on redox signaling molecules. And this slide will already be out of date, with around 150 studies coming out almost every single month. According to medical researchers, as well as reported in the Huffington Post, which specifically wrote about ASEA in this article that I'm showing you here. But redox signaling is one of the fastest emerging fields in science that will shape all of our lives in the coming years. There are now multiple universities who've received tens of millions of dollars in grants to open up redox research centers. There are now global medical conferences and congresses being held about redox. Medical doctors are specializing in redox, with one such professor, a doctor at Harvard Medical School, who has a PhD and title that includes Director of Redox Medicine. And as for ASEA, alongside of all of this, we're light years ahead. ASEA redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, which hopefully by now we've helped you to understand the translation of that, which is health at its most foundational level. And here's just another one example of that. ASEA redox has been scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways and affect your genes that improve immune system health, help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, that help maintain cardiovascular health and support arterial elasticity, that improves gut health and digestive enzyme production, and modulates hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. Now, these genes are key in the health of every individual and play a vital role, not just in the 5 mentioned human health areas, but also in dozens of additional genetic pathways. Moreover, ASEA redox has also been scientifically tested and shown to enhance your body's own production and efficiency of antioxidants by up to 800%. Further studies show that ASEA lowers oxidative stress, which is linked to this antioxidant study. Now, the head professor of this university study is saying that one of the most important effects of ASEA on disease risk factors is its ability to reduce oxidative stress. Now, here's why that is significant. Because all degenerative health concerns are caused by oxidative stress. and 95% of all adult conditions are degenerative. So this is a very big deal that ASEA reduces oxidative stress. And from rigorous toxicology studies, ASEA is proven to be 100% safe. 0% toxicity. Why? Again, because redox signaling molecules are native to your body. They're already in you. Your body already makes them. It's just that now your body can't make as much of them as it used to when it was younger and healthier. And ASEA is just putting them back into your body. So if you have health challenges, or if you have loved ones that you care about who do, if you have a wish that you could look, live, and feel young once again, if you have the very, very good sense for protecting your health because you don't want to become old and unwell, if you have a goal of having higher levels of human performance, greater athleticism, better in sport, bigger and stronger in the gym, right? Listen, any health goal you can think of, redox users and medical doctors are seeing just remarkable results. But on the note of medical doctors, you really don't need to take my word for it, because here are some medical doctors right now. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
Health is something we have to earn. So what can I do to get to the root of things and really prevent problems from happening? Is it possible? And the answer is yes.
You know, I think most people don't actually really consider their health until it's gone. So it's the choices that we make today that are going to determine the level of our wellness and our health and our healthy longevity tomorrow.
We want to keep people healthy. We don't want to see that deterioration. The whole process of the anti-aging and regenerative medicine that I'm so passionate about is on the premise that we can maintain energy, we can maintain health.
So prevention is key, but people need to value it, and people need to understand what it is and take responsibility.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants, and the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries. But now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
This is where the future lies. And this is why redox chemistry and supplements that employ this are so powerful.
They literally turn on and turn off, signal every single process in every living cell. And to be able to stabilize a product that allows us to replenish that is just a phenomenal breakthrough.
This has the capability to change the landscape of the healthcare system as we know it.
So now that we've spoken about cellular health from the inside out, let's show you what's possible from the outside in. That's made possible by ASEA's topical versions of Redox technology, which are Renew 28 Redox Gel on the far right, and our intensive Redox serum next to it. Now, these Redox technologies are supported and enhanced by their complementary and all natural ingredients products, the two on the far left, our gentle refining cleanser and our ultra replenishing moisturizer. But you know the saying, right? A picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's just show you what our ASEA Redox technologies are worth with these amazing health, anti-aging and age reversing results. Lines and wrinkles are smoothed out. Elasticity comes back to the skin. Skin blemishes, spots, dots, and marks. And also look at the elasticity under the skin. A lot of people look in the red square, but look at the elasticity coming back to the neck there of this lady. Also irritations, inflammations, aggravations, just behind the ear there. And all sorts of other signs of poor health to the skin. This is my beautiful wife, by the way. Being renewed. For young people too, being rejuvenated, improving the quality of life, and even the aftermath of some of these unfortunate conditions, coming back to the proper surface of the skin. This is Rosie, and the dramatic difference that you're seeing in the first two pictures on the left could not actually be seen by Rosie because she actually did not take those pictures. And also, Rosie believed that the products were not working. And so Rosie went to see her doctor. That's who told her about ASEA and who took these pictures. And when Rosie told the doctor that the products didn't work, the doctor showed these pictures to Rosie. And I guess the rest of the story can be seen here, right? Now, some people noticed results early on, some people later. Rosie in 7 weeks, others within 7 days, others within 7 minutes. But no matter how long you're using it for, the way you see how ASEA goes is take pictures, and anything you can't take a picture of, keep a written record instead. Now, some people need to apply more time, more product, more patience, generally when there's more going on with their health. Now, what we know scientifically, however, is that redox signaling molecules are all the same. They're the same in you as they are in me, as they are in animals, as they are in plants, as they are in bottles of ASEA. Studies show this, and studies also show that ASEA redox products have an immediate positive effect. They work in every single person every single time. It would be scientifically impossible for them to not work in you and or hurt you. But just because they have an immediate positive effect doesn't mean you'll have an immediate observance of that. Because what does differ from person to person is the time it takes them to observe or notice the change. Now, this doctor here did a little experiment of his own on his very own face and used Renew 28 on only half of his face and not the other. You spot the difference there? It's pretty difficult to unsee once you see it. Now, it's not just for your face, as you can see here, arms, hands, bellies. There's more bellies here. These are actually friends of my wife and I. Buttocks, thighs, and all over. Now, these pictures are actually from a study by a world-leading laboratory, and this study was done because there were many reports coming in from all over the world from people saying that their cellulite had disappeared while they were using Renew 28. So these scientists set upon very strict studies to see if there was any truth. And what they found was after just 12 weeks, there was a 16 to 20% reduction in the appearance of cellulite. And when the scientists did ultrasounds to try and discover how this was happening, they saw the subcutaneous fat that was causing the cellulite was actually being dissolved from the use of Renew 28. And so Renew 28 helps reduce the appearance of cellulite and wrinkles, enhancing skin texture, smoothing the skin, not just for visibly younger looking skin, but actual visibly healthier skin. Renew 28 helps soothe skin discomfort after things such as shaving or sun exposure and the like. But Renew 28 is not just for the skin. It helps soothe discomfort, something that's sore or hurting you, all around the body. And you can know about it in about 10 minutes. If you have something around your body that's hurting you, rate that hurting on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most it can hurt you. And apply Renew 28 on that sore spot 3 times within 5 minutes, and usually 9 to 10 out of every 10 people will notice a soothing or reduction of that soreness within approximately 10 minutes. Now, nothing I've said here today has been intended to diagnose anything that you're going through, and ASEA does not claim to treat or cure any diseases. All right, what I'm going to do here is I have some more that I wish to share with you. Some very important, very exciting information. But first, after really showing you what this stuff can do from the outside in, I want you to hear and see a gentleman's experience of what this can do from the inside out. It's very significant. Now, this gentleman is my best mate. He's an Aussie living in Hawaii who right now, just because he feels like it, has chosen to stay extra time in a business slash R&R trip to Panama. He's brought along some background music with him today too. But he came, as I said in the beginning, he came from a very severe health concern. There wasn't just a concern upon his health, but upon his life. And he will tell you in his own words that he tried everything, and this was the missing link, what he is about to share with you today. And he has gone from now that to now today being a multi-million-dollar international success story. He's an ambassador Triple Diamond with this organization. If that means nothing to you, it means that he has helped a lot of people improve and get their lives back on track in more ways than one. He is a $1 Million Earners Club member with this organization. He's the recipient of the ASEA Business Builder of the Year Award, the Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, and the Emerging Leader of the Year Award, and too many other awards to list on. He is #1 top income earner in Australia, and he's the #3 highest ranking associate in the world. And it's very difficult to keep up with his stats. So they've probably improved a lot more since then. But this is my best mate, Dan Doyle. You're in very good hands now. Enjoy him.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for doing this presentation. Really appreciate all the work you do and helping us to get this incredible information to as many people as possible. Yes, Suzanne and I are on a breakdown here in Panama. We're doing a bit of traveling. Don't know where we're going next, but it's great to be in the situation that we're in, where we can be as flexible as we are and do what we want when we want to do it. Things weren't like that 6 or 7 years ago, unfortunately, and you're going to hear my story now. Stevie's spoken to you about this incredible breakthrough in these products, this cellular health company, ASEA, and I just want to reiterate the disclaimer that these products that he's talking about, that we're talking about, are not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. But we definitely have something pretty special. These amazing little molecules that can help signal and empower the body to heal itself. So if you're new on this call, I just always like to say, relax. 6, 7 years ago, I was in your position where somebody introduced me to this because they thought it would be of benefit to me, and I can tell you that it was substantially. I'm sure that there is something here for you, but we are not trying to sell you anything or convince you to do anything or to buy anything here. This is simply information that we're sharing, and I love people that do take on the knowledge and the information to be able to make an informed decision. So congratulations and welcome. Thank you for being on the call. So as much as we travel the world a lot, our lives did start back in Australia. And if you talk about our home, that's where we still consider our home, Australia. We haven't been back there for about 2 years. It's been very difficult with the situation with travel and everything that's going on. And there's quarantine over there where you've got to lock yourself in a hotel for 2 weeks, which is something that I don't look forward to going back, but we will be going back this year because we're missing family and friends like Stevie Aquilina. We need to start seeing some people and catch up with people. So the story started back in Sydney, Australia, where I used to play a lot of sports, and the reason why I played a lot of sports is because I love playing sports, but I wanted to distract myself from something that I disliked, which was school. And I immersed myself in sports, played many sports like rugby, I did judo, gymnastics, aerobics, surfing, and also this thing called bodybuilding. This is a picture of me when I was 24 years old. I actually started pumping iron and lifting weights at the age of 13 years old, actually. So this is 11 years old, 11 years after I actually started lifting weights. And what came with the territory is obviously bouncing, as Stevie did, down in the incredible depths and the bowel of place like King's Cross, which wasn't a very nice place to work. But This is the beginning of me being an incredibly successful entrepreneur. I was in the health and fitness industry back then. I owned my own bodybuilding shop, which expanded into a boutique gym and selling gym equipment. And then I ended up moving across the road in this particular area in Australia. And I had the biggest bodybuilding shop with a gym and aerobics and a boxing gym attached to it in the whole of Australia. Great times. This was my life. I used to eat, drink and breathe health and fitness and bodybuilding. I was a personal trainer. So I had multiple businesses in this industry back in those days. It was the start of, as I said, me being a very successful entrepreneur, not knowing that I would be building and selling traditional businesses as a living, but that's what I did. So I moved from one business to the other, and over 20 years, I had built and sold 20 traditional businesses employing around 3,500 people. And if I fast forward from the age 24 to 44, not a bodybuilder anymore, but this is me going to the gym every morning still and doing a lot of cardiovascular work as I do now. I'm pretty well in this shape, and I'm nearly 54 now. And I just wanted to be the best version of a 50-year-old that I could be at 44, leading up to the age of 50. And something that I didn't know at this time, because I didn't have any symptoms, and excuse the babies in the background, I didn't know I had a very serious challenge. As a matter of fact, I had two very serious challenges, which I didn't discover until my body changed in a way that wasn't right. And I took myself to the doctors, and I was given some very bad news. And this photo, 6 months later in 2011, this is a picture of me on the right-hand side, no hair from the top of my head to my toes. So you can just imagine what they were putting me through when I lost all my hair from my entire body. And what I went through back then, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. It was a horrendous time. And this is a friend of mine, Johnny Manor. Johnny was 21 years of age at this photo. He'd been through a challenge himself, not as serious as mine, but along the same lines, and been through all the hospital visits that I had started here in this photo. And fortunately for Johnny, he went into remission, but unfortunately for Johnny, after this photo was taken, his issue came back. He went back into hospital. He lost all his hair from what they put him through. He lost a lot of weight. And unfortunately, we never saw Johnny again. He never came out of that hospital. We lost him at the age of 23. Way, way, way too young. And it was a scary time seeing that happened, considering that he had the good one and I had two of the bad ones. So I was in for the fight of my life. At the end of what they put me through, those 2.5 years of what I would consider absolutely agony at times, times where I didn't want to go on personally, I couldn't really handle physically what they were putting me through. At the end of that, my doctors told me to get my affairs in order. Now, very hard pill to swallow. I thought I was going to be okay, because growing up in Sydney, Australia, every time we were sick, our parents took us to the doctors, and we took a couple of pills and we were okay. And I had the same mindset in my 40s. Going through this, I put my life into my doctor's hands, and I thought I was going to be okay, but that wasn't the case. So when I was told to get my affairs in order, I knew that I had to take the responsibility of my health back into my own hands, something that I highly recommend that everybody does. Don't wait till you get sick to do that. Don't think, oh, everything's going okay, so I'm going to eat what I want and I'm not going to do any exercise. Start having a think about how you can be improving your health right now. Come in from a holistic point of view. Nutrition's important, food's important, exercising is important, and these redox molecules are extremely important. So my research led to an alkaline diet, and I tidied up my diet. And obviously, coming from Australia, we used to love our barbies and we used to love eating our steak and having our beer and red wine and everything, but all that was out the door. I really cleaned up my diet and just ate deep sea fish, organic vegetables, and salads, and some good clean water. But I also reached out to network marketing companies for their products, something that with my mindset was very difficult to do, because I didn't believe in that business model. So I didn't believe I should be buying from people in that industry. But I wanted to live, I wanted to survive, and there were some good products out there. I bought products from Zango. I was drinking a bottle of mangosteen per day. From Isogenics, their product B. Max Products, Longevity. Life Vantage, their Pro Tandem. Kangen Water. I was religiously taking all these products and eating this really clean alkaline diet. Now, you would think my body would have been heading in the right direction, but I can tell you that that wasn't the case. This is a photo of me 2 years looking after myself. How do I look here in this photo, guys? How do you think I look? Well, I can tell you my blood works were still heading in the wrong direction. I was still in a lot of trouble with my health. A friend of mine reached out to me, Bart Cotter. This is now 2014. And all he said to me was, I think I found something that can help. So long story short, I got on a plane from Sydney. I flew to Salt Lake City, Utah. I met him in the headquarters of the company, ASEA. Happened to take a friend of mine, Mal Sword, with me because he'd been dealing with a skin challenge for over 40 years. He'd spent $100,000. He was looking for something that could help him with his skin issue. And we went to this meeting, which was in a big boardroom of ASEA. And Dr. Gary Samuelson, who's the atomic and medical physicist, one of only 5 in the world, started talking about this breakthrough. He started talking about the mitochondria, about redox signaling molecules, things that I'd never heard of in my life. Couldn't understand really what he was talking about apart from what was in this little blue bottle was 100% non-toxic and it could have health benefits. So Mal and I were gorging it down while we were listening to this meeting. And meeting finished, we went back to the hotel and we were going to meet the executives of the company, Dr. Gary Samuelson, the founders, Tyler Norden, and also Bertus Norden for dinner. Took off my shirt to have a shower and I'm covered in these little red spots. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together at the time, but what I was going through, things were expelling from my body so fast, they were coming out of my skin. It wasn't annoying me, it wasn't an issue at all. But I just had little red spots. Next morning, because I'd had a caffeine intolerance for 2 decades, I thought I'm going to test this stuff they were drinking not only the day before, but also that morning prior to breakfast. Any more than 2 coffees, I'm buckled over with a bloating issue and discomfort the whole day. That morning I had 6 coffees. There was nothing to remind me what I endured for a whole 20 years. Light bulb still didn't go on. Went on the next day, 2 to 3 days in drinking this product. Mal and Bart and I went to this theme park. I remember it was Halloween. There was zombies running around everywhere, but we got to this theme park and I kept saying to the guys over the 2 or 3 days, even though I was going up and there's all these emotions through an obviously healing crisis that I was going through, from lethargic and fatigue and tired to euphoria, I just felt like Superman. I jumped out of the car in the car park and I said to the guys, hey guys, I feel like Superman. I ran across the car park, ran about 100 meters and I stopped. Now, if I did that 3 days before, I would have been on my hands and knees gasping for air because I had so much lung damage from what they put me through in that hospital. I had trouble breathing and talking at the same time. But when I stopped and I was standing there, it was like my lungs were just breathing by myself and there was no effort at all in what I'd just experienced with that run. That's when the light bulb went on and I knew there was something special with this product, this technology that we're drinking over the 2 to 3 days. So I went back to Australia. I kept drinking this stuff. Let's fast forward 1 year. This is a picture of me 1 year on the product. This is the day the doctors told me no sign of those 2 major challenges. Multiple injuries from playing sports had gone away. They were turning into that crippling issue as we're getting older. 20 years of pollen problems, sneezing, runny nose. My whole body was rebuilt in 1 year, 2015, taking this product. Let's have a look at the anti-aging. This is a picture of me 3 years on the product. As time's gone on, I've felt better. I've looked younger. It's been an incredible journey health-wise and looking younger and feeling younger. Go back to 2014 when I didn't have my health. What you're seeing on the outside is a reflection of what was going on in the inside. And same at 2015, you're 1 year on the product. What you're seeing on the outside, direct reflection of what was going on the inside at that time. 3 years on the product, looking way better again. My complexion was a reflection of what was going on. on the inside at that time. That was my journey back to health, back to looking younger and feeling younger. Been an amazing journey. I had no intention at the beginning to share this with anybody because it was all about me. I was selfish. This is all about my health, and it was all about survival. As time went on, it became a responsibility to help others. It did some incredible things for me physically, and it was my duty to help other people, to tell other people. It became a purpose-filled mission. And with that, I adopted the business model, and I did that 6 years ago last month. This has been the most incredible journey of my life, not just from a physical point of view, but also helped return everything from a financial point of view, because 6 years ago we were living in a van, almost going to the Salvation Army for food stamps. I would say with what Stevie's going to go through now, what you're going to hear about the business model, what a seer can do for you as a business platform to help others, to receive thank you checks, to actually turn things around for you, not only physically by taking the product, but financially, would be the most compelling opportunity in both ways that you'll ever come across in your life. And with that, I'm going to hand back to Stevie. You're going to hear some pretty incredible things about what we have and what this can do for you, for your family, and maybe for generations to come. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for your presentation so far, and I always look forward to hearing the next part. It's all exciting for me, no matter how many times I hear about it and hear you talk about it, because it just reiterates what we have and the power of what we got, and what this can do for anybody, but also what this is doing for me, and how I need to keep up what I do from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. So take it away.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dan. And thanks for what you do keep up from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, because, you know, what you're doing for other people out there is, and around the world, is just amazing. So, you know, thank you for you being you, and, you know, thank you to Suzanne for all the great sacrifices that you and her make to be able to, you know, serve the world. And you deserve everything you're getting and more, including having a great time there in Panama. And yeah, we can't wait to see you come back here to the land down under and physically spend some time with you both again. But also thank you for not just being a tremendous leader, but and mate, but, you know, believing in me long before I could, and teaching me how to believe and become more too. So folks, we'd love to see that chat box light up with any comments that you have for Dan, any questions that you have about this presentation. And I'm going to bring it home for you right now on the home stretch, but it would be great to see that chat box light up with any comments, questions, concerns, shares, anything you've got. We'd love to see it in there. All right. It is a universal truth. It is historical fact that with every great breakthrough comes great opportunity. And a seer is a life-changing breakthrough. And that's created a life-changing financial opportunity behind all of this. And that is to make a living while bettering people's lives. And so the ASEA Redox products are the world's first and only redox signaling supplements for two simple reasons. One, excuse me, for nearly 3 decades now, no one else other than just one man, Dr. Gary L. Samuelson, who's a medical atomic physicist, no one but he has been able to figure out how to create and stabilize redox signaling molecules outside of the body. For the 2 decades before Dr. Samuelson's breakthrough work, science had declared it was impossible, and now science all over the world has really dived deep into this area of redox science. And two, ASEA is heavily patented. And so for all this medical science that's going on out there on redox, ASEA is heavily patented. So not only is ASEA not allowed to be copied, but the truth is ASEA can't be copied, because there's no way to look into a bottle of ASEA and figure out how to reverse engineer it, because there are trade secrets in the making of ASEA, not in the bottle. And so it really can't be copied. And that means we have no copycats. And that means we have no competition. And that means no one in the world has what ASEA has, no one. And that means no other products in the world can do what ASEA does, none of them. Nothing else in the world can get to the depth and level of achievement in the human body as what ASEA can, because it is redox signaling molecules and nothing else is. And redox works in every body. And everybody needs redox, because nothing in the body works as well, or it's all in fact without redox. And redox can't hurt anybody. No other products can make that claim. No juice, pills, super shake, fancy water, CBD oil, whatever it might be, as good as it might be, they don't even work in the body without redox signaling molecules. And so therefore, ASEA holds massive opportunities across all health products, across all health science sectors, at a much deeper and significant level like anything else can ever get to. It doesn't matter whether it's healthcare and wellness, sports science, athletic performance, beauty, skincare, aging, longevity. These are multi-trillion-dollar industries, by the way. They're huge. And again, ASEA is the only company in the world that anybody in the world and in these sectors of science can get a redox supplement from. ASEA is an entrepreneur's dream. Now, our mission here at ASEA is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. We can't do that on our own, and so we look for people to help spread the word. And what we do is not complicated. We personally share ASEA with others. We personally share it with users, with customers. We also grow and expand a global network of other people doing the same thing, sharing redox with others. And you're in business in this way for yourself. You can be your own boss, but you're never in business by yourself, because together we work through training and self-development to improve the productivity of the networks we've built together. And so it's kind of like a franchise business, but instead of building restaurants and burgers, like let's say McDonald's does, which is a bad example in a little health lecture, right? But instead of building buildings, we build people. And we don't even make and ship and handle the products, by the way. The company does all of that for you. And so in this way, you can make an income like a franchise. In fact, way more than that, but without all the expenses. And ASEA gives you the opportunity to earn this money just by sharing redox with others. So for people looking for either an extra, part-time, full-time, big time, or legacy leaving income, for people who have dreams of a better life, income, lifestyle, whatever it might be, there are levels of commissions to meet whatever levels of ambitions, to be able to afford making your goals, dreams, and desires a reality. And ASEA helps you, and it helps you to create income that is both residual and leveraged. Now, you receive a residual income, not just from the first, but from all of the ongoing repeated purchases made by everyone you refer to ASEA. And because you can refer as many people as you like, and because those people can purchase as much product as they like, and because you're attached to that every single time, not just the first time, but every time they buy again and again and again and again forever, the residual income potential of ASEA is unlimited. Now, on top, you also receive unlimited leveraged residual income. So it's not just from what you do and what you introduce, but also from all of the repeated purchases made by every single person your contacts and others also refer. And there's no limits to how far and wide and deep these referrals can go around the world. And we all do this naturally all the time. We recommend good movies, TV series, restaurants, cafes, books, food, homewares, beauty products, health products, whatever it might be. It's natural. People tell people who then tell even more people, and it goes on and on. You know that. Word of mouth marketing is the oldest and still today #1 most powerful and effective and most trusted and most listened to form of marketing in the world. There's no limits, especially with how connected the world is today. Word spreads worldwide. And ASEA is currently in 35 countries, opening new markets every year. And based on existing trends, the annual turnover is projected to exceed more than $500 million over the next 5 years. Now, residual income is impressive. You know, you can get to do what Dan does, what we do, but more so it's important because you have residual bills. Why not have residual income? Do you know what happens to most people by the time they're 65? Out of every 100 people, only one of them is wealthy. Only 3 are financially secure. 7 must still work to survive at 65. Let's be clear, not working because they want to, but because they have to. They're a slave to the dollar. And 74 out of every 100 people are dependent on welfare by 65. So what is one of the main financial principles that the top 4% seem to figure out that the other 81% didn't? It's residual income. It's how to make money that is no longer dependent on their paid by the hour, selling their precious time for money, labor-intensive or own activity job, otherwise known as active income. Now, sooner or later, you won't be able to be as active as you are right now. Therefore, you won't be able to have as much active income as you have right now. Think about that. Maybe even more concerning if you're thinking right now, my active income already isn't enough as it is. This is one of the biggest problems 81% of people get trapped in, and it causes more problems. There's enough problems to deal with in the world. Don't let money be one of them. Because money is an excellent servant. We can do good things with it. We can make good things with it. We can give good things with it. But it's a terrible master if you are a slave to the dollar. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, unfortunately, you'll be a slave until you die. Now, I'm not saying jobs are bad. They're a good place to start for most of us. And if you truly do love your job, keep it. You're blessed. But still find a way to make money outside of your job that won't interfere with what you're currently doing, because only relying on a single source of active income is just not smart and dangerous to your financial security. So for people who are smart, been wanting to be in the right place at the right time, who are able to recognize a good thing, who decide to take control of their finances, of their freedom, of their security, for people who aren't happy with the amount of money that they have or how they have to make it. For people who have dreams and want a better life, ASEA is a significant opportunity to have a significant impact in people's lives and make a significant income from the inevitable growth of its global expansion to afford you those dreams, give you that real freedom. And there's nothing better than making a living from bettering people's lives. And that's what you get to do with ASEA. Who we become and what we do is the biggest reward over and above any riches it will make us, really. But you can make great money here, that's for sure. And you can even be rewarded on top with all expenses paid trips to 5-star luxury locations all around the world. You'll have a really great time, meeting great people, making great friends, having great experiences, and a great lifestyle. But really, really, at the end of the day, it is the effect we have on others. That is one of the most valuable currencies there is. And that's the heart of ASEA. And it was demonstrated here, because the truth is, after big pharmaceutical companies were shown tens of millions of dollars, 17 years worth of powerful research, clinical studies proving ASEA, those big drug companies offered to pay ASEA huge sums of money for the sole and exclusive rights to the ASEA Redox technology. However, those drug companies wanted ASEA to shut down and to take everyone off Redox. But thankfully, the founders of ASEA, Virtus and his son Tyler Norton, had the great foresight to see grave concerns and consequences in such a deal, because Virtus and Tyler saw people who went from severe health challenges that once left them and their doctors feeling hopeless, like Dan and his doctors, to then these people experiencing life-changing power from Redox. And when Virtus and Tyler saw this, they were filled with a great sense of purpose, great sense of responsibility to get this breakthrough for humanity out to the world. And so they couldn't in good conscience sell out. That's why they did it. For Virtus and Tyler, what had once started out as just a very big business play had now become more. They decided to go down the supplement route, the health route, to turn down the pharmaceutical companies going the drug route. They turned all of that down in order to expedite the availability of this technology globally, making it available immediately to you and me and everyone without a prescription. One of ASEA's foremost guiding principles was demonstrated here, as is perpetually demonstrated in every decision they make. That is to always put people and principles before ego and economics. So you're in very, very good hands. Get back with the person who shared this with you. Let them know what stood out to you the most. If you have any questions, ask them. They can point to where you can find the answers easily. Plenty of university studies, but most importantly, hundreds of thousands of real people's life-changing redox experiences for you to see ASEA is the real deal. So thank you very much for spending this time with me and Dan. May you always be happy. May you always be well. And thank you ever so much, Dan. Always appreciate you, mate.
Thank you, Stevie. What perfect timing for our next call. And Cindy's here, and I know we've got our special guest waiting, and we're going to bring her on now. We're going to have an incredible call. So for anybody on now, while we're getting set up, make sure you reach out to your team, because they're not going to want to miss this.